Good morning, Wrightville. Happy Tuesday. I'm just here this morning to show you what you're going to be working on today. It's Tuesday, and that means it's math and science. We'll be learning some new things in math and continuing with our extreme weather and science, which builds up to a fun activity for tomorrow. So I think you're going to like it. So make sure you'll go into your waffle and then into Google Classroom. We should have that down pretty well now. And as it starts to come up, we're in our homework class. We'll be practicing some multiplication today, working on those multiplication facts. Here it is right here, Tuesday, May 12th, Math and Science. I'm going to open that up and okay. It talks a little bit right here about our Google Hangout. We'll be having Google Hangout today at 10 o'clock from 10 to 11. Please be sure that you think of a thorn and a rose before you come. Maybe a thorn and a rose from the weekend. Maybe a thorn and a rose of something that's happening right now. So thorn and rose, what's the thorn? What's something good? What's something frustrating or troubling? And maybe we can help each other out. Okay. And then we'll be doing a Kahoots. That Kahoots is either going to be today or tomorrow. I'm not sure. It'll either be Kahoots or listening activity today. And then tomorrow, whatever we don't do today, we'll do tomorrow. So you might want to have a piece of blank paper available in case we decide to do the drawing activity, so that you're ready for the listening part. First thing here, it says check out work that has been graded and handed back to you. Read those comments. Number 2, we're watching the flipped classroom video right now. And number 3, there's a motivational video down below to get your motivation going so that you can be the best that you can be. That's what we always want to work towards, is just always being the best version of us. First thing first is review. It's your multiplication table. If you remember, a long time ago, we made some quilt squares, which were basically our multiplication facts, and we were looking at patterns. We're going to go back to that today and do it again and look at it from a different lens. Since we've studied multiplication now, we know what it is. Let's see if we can find some other patterns that maybe we didn't notice when we first started learning multiplication. So you're going to want to scroll down to the bottom. Excuse me. Sorry, it's 5:40 in the morning and I'm a little bit tired. Just got off work at the hospital. So you're going to click on multiplication patterns. This will open up and you're going to be doing some multiplication facts on these. You should know your multiplication facts quite well when you're done with this. It says use each table that you create to answer the think about it questions on the right. So here's the table you're creating. Here's the think about it, the questions on the right. I'm going to move this up here so it's a little bit out of the way. Okay. So first thing it says is number 1, complete the multiplication table by filling in the product. What is the product? If you remember, the product is when we take two multiples, two factors, and we multiply them together, and we have a product. The product is your answer. So on a multiplication table, it is set up so that you are taking one row times another row. So if I have 1 here and 1 up here, I'm going to do 1 times 1 and put the answer here. There we go. Go over here and I'm going to do 1 times 2, put the answer here. Go over here and it's 1 times 3, put the answer here. 1 times 4, and you'll go all the way across. Now when I go down to this next row, notice I'm in my 2's now. So here it's going to be 2 times 1. I bring these two together to multiply. 2 times 1 is 2. Then I go over here, and now I'm in this column, so I have 2 times 2. So it's almost like you're bringing this side in and this side in, and you're multiplying the two of them together. 2 times 2 is 4. So I'll go through and I'm going to fill out the whole table that way. Then it says shade in the odd products. All of these that you're doing down here, these are all your products. These are your answers. And it says to shade in the odd products of the table using your paint can tool. Well, if you're not sure where your paint can tool, it says it can be found under the 3 dots at the end of the toolbar. I have mine opened up already. Here's my paint can tool. Now, if my paint can tool wasn't there, there would be 3 dots, just like we see on Google Hangouts. And you click on those 3 dots and it brings all of this up. Here's my paint can tool. So I can pick whichever color I want. I'm going to be filling in the products. I'll pick pink this morning. We'll be filling in the products that are odd. So odd means that it cannot be put into 2 equal groups. So I have a remainder, I have something left over. So if I'm looking at 1, can 1 be put into 2 equal groups? It cannot. So that is odd. So I'm going to click in that box, hit my paint can, and it should just have, I guess I might have to change the colors. Oops. My cursor was down in the wrong spot. Cursor's in this one where 1 is. Hit my paint can. I want it pink. So that's an odd. Now 2, if I have two cookies, can 2 cookies be put equally into 2 boxes? Yes, I can put 1 here and 1 here. So that is not odd. It's even. It balances out. 3, if I have 3 cookies, can I put 3 cookies into 2 boxes? I can put 1 cookie here and 1 cookie here, but I have the other one left over. So I cannot do anything with that one because we have to keep the cookie whole. Now, I know last time Jeff was on the ball and said, oh yeah, we can split it in half and put half in half. Jeff is correct. However, this time your cookies are going to stay whole. So we are going to click our cursor in there, click on our paint toolbar can, and fill that one in because it's odd. My computer's really slow, but you see the picture. Now you will start to get an idea of how this is going to look, and that might help make it a little faster for you. Okay. Now, after I get it all filled in with my paint can, it says, remember, if there are multiple digits in a number, oh, that's a good one to remember. Let's say we're down here on 8 times 7. 8 times 7, anybody know that really quick? Liam, I know you do. 8 times 7 is 56. So notice I have 2 digits here, and I have to decide, is that odd? Well, it's going to be kind of hard to think, okay, I have 56 cookies. Am I going to put them into 2 boxes? How many? It says, look at the digit in the ones place. So we're actually going to just really focus on the 6 that's in the ones place. If I have 6 cookies, can I separate those? Can I divide them into 2 boxes? I can put 3 here and 3 here. Do I have it equal? Do I have any remainders? I don't. So that number is even. So we're not going to color it in. Okay. So you're going to, if you have two digits in a number, look at the digit in the ones place and decide, is it even or odd? And then here are your questions to think about. You'll type your answers in the box. Which problems create odd products? So after you get all these shaded in odds, study it and see which problems make odd answers, odd products. Why do you think there aren't as many odd answers as there are even? So when I get done filling these all in, all the odd, that's telling me I'm going to have more white boxes than pink, because it sounds like there's more even than odd. You're going to have to check that out. I don't know. I'm going to put these all back to normal so that when you are on here and doing your assignments, it doesn't give you one that's already started. It's all going to be blank, ready to go. So got that cleared off. And let's see if it'll let me clear these numbers out. Clear this one out. Okay, so once you're done with that one, you're going to scroll down because you do have another table and some more think about it questions. This is why I told you you're going to know your multiplication products, your multiplication facts very well. You have to complete the multiplication table by filling in the products, just like we did above. Then shade in the square numbers. You might be wondering what a square number is. These are the numbers that have the same two factors. 1 times 1, they're the same factors, square numbers. 2 times 2, same factors, square numbers. 3 times 3. Is 3 times 4 a square number? No, because they're not the same factors. And then after you do that, what pattern does that show? You're going to keep scrolling down because you do have 2 more tables. So keep going all the way down. I'm not going to keep going all the way down, but you should be able to go over each of these. The directions are exactly the same on every one. It just has a little bit different question about the pattern. Okay, so let's go back here and we are going to look now at number 5. This one is review because it's comparing fractions, but we haven't done that in a while since we were in the classroom. So it says you're going to compare fractions. You'll need to open up 2 pages for this lesson. The first page is the comparing fractions page. That's right here. Oops. Or right here, compare fractions. So you'll see up here, I have that open on this tab, okay? Now, I want to go back over here to my Google Classroom because it said I had to open up 2. Let's see what the other thing is we have to open. Oh, it says right here, we want to open up our fraction cards. Right here are our fraction comparison cards. So I'm going to open this one up as well. Maybe. Now, oops, it opened it up a whole bunch of times. We're going to close these out so it doesn't slow it down too much. You'll notice now how I have several things open up here at the top. Here's my Google Classroom, so I can flip back to that. Here's my fraction comparison cards. I'm just hovering my cursor over this, and it tells me what it is. I hover my cursor over this, tells me what it is. For some reason, it's moving very slow right now. So here's my fraction cards. You're going to choose one of these cards to complete your work on the fraction comparison page. So if I scroll down, there'll be multiple cards here. This is card E. You can see that right here. There'll be card F. Excuse me. Card G, card H, I, J. You'll be able to choose which one you want to use. Once you choose your fraction card, you'll notice it has the fractions on it. You're going to then come over here to our comparing fractions page, and you're going to make some comparisons. It says use the fraction cards to complete the table with the information that helps you compare 2 fractions. The first one is completed for you. This is mine. I completed it. I used fraction card A. On fraction card A, I had to look at the first fraction. Now, this one is fraction card F, so we're going to pretend it's A. You're going to look at just this fraction, and it asks me total parts in the first whole. Here's my first whole. How many total parts? I have 6 in this one. So that is my denominator. Denominator's down. That's your bottom number, so I put 6 here. Then looking at my first part, my first whole, I have to look at the shaded parts of the first whole. If I was looking at letter E, I would look at the shaded parts of the first whole. I have how many shaded? I have 2. So that would be my numerator. The top number is always the number shaded or the parts. The bottom number is always the whole. How many altogether? See how these are both green? That's because these 2 questions, this numerator and denominator, it goes with the first fraction or the first whole. Then these over here are the same thing, but they're purple. And you're doing it with the second whole. You're finding the denominator and the numerator. So I'm looking at the second whole right here. Okay, notice your whole is different because it has a lot more parts to it, excuse me, than this whole does. Once you get that filled in, then you're going to put your fraction down here. So I put my 2 and my 6, and I have 2 6. Here's my first whole. Here's my second hole. The top number is a 4, the bottom number is a 6. Here's my second hole. So then it asks me which one is greater. Using greater than, less than, or equal to, which one is greater? Well, I may not be able to tell here, but I can look back over here and determine these holes are the same size. It's just that they're cut into different different numbers of pieces. The more pieces I cut, what happens to the size? Because my hole going all the way around here, here's my hole. Here, 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 here. There's a hole. That is the same as this hole. So would you rather have these two pieces or these two pieces? It shows you which one is greater. Remember, that's activity card E. I did my example here on A. So if you're looking at 2, 6, and 4, 6, 4, 6 is 2, 6, 1/3. Yes. 4, 6 is going to be greater than 2, 6. If I had it up, I'd be able to pull it up and look at it so we can prove that. Let me see if I might still have it handy, just so you can see where that's coming from. These are all the things I take from the district and I remake them so that they're user-friendly for you. However, oh, here we go. The one the district gave you, the reason it's not as user-friendly is because you can't do it online. You have to print it off and you have to write it down. But here is my example that I did for A. Here's the 4, here's the 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I did not use that one. I used this one right here. I used A. Here's my 6 in my first hole. Here's my 6 in my second hole. The holes are the same size. They both have 6 pieces, 6 parts. So that means since they both have 6, the sizes are the same. So would you rather have 2, 6 or 4, 6? The 4, 6 is greater in this case. That's where this sign came from. Remember, it's always going to eat the biggest number. So here's my alligator mouth eating the greatest number. So then over here, I have to explain why I chose greater than. 4, 6 is greater than, 4, 6 is greater because there are 6 equal pieces for both fractions. We looked at that. One fraction has 2 of those 6. The other one has 4 of those 6. The 6 pieces are the same size, so 4 of them is greater than 2 of them, okay? 4 won't always be greater than 2, depending on how big the sizes are and how small, and that's dependent on how many pieces they cut. So here's where you're going to choose your own letter card. So you'll go over here, you'll choose one of these letter cards. You can flip through and find the one you want. Okay, choose whichever one you want. And you're going to put that letter here. Then you're going to look at the first hole. What's the denominator? What's the numerator? Look at the next hole. What's the denominator? What's the numerator? Then you're going to go down here and you're going to take these two greens, the numerator and denominator, and put them here. Here's your first hole. Then you're going to take these two purples, that's your second hole, and you're going to put them here. Then you have to compare, is it less than, greater than, or equal to in the box? And you can do what I did. You can flip back over here and look at the picture and decide, is it greater than or less than? Then over here, you're going to explain it. So you'll do that. I believe you do it 4 times. There's 1 time, 2 times, and I think you're off the hook. You have 3 times that you do that. So you're going to choose 3 cards. Okay. I'm going to close these out just to make it a little easier to get around. Since I'm all done with them, you've turned yours in and shared it. So that's all we have for math today. That's a lot of math though, actually. Science, we're going to be looking at another extreme weather. This is a tornado. So you're going to want to scroll down a little bit and find how can spinning air be dangerous. There's a video for you to watch. There's also an article to read. Your first task is to watch the video. Remember how I said if you hover over this, sometimes it'll pull up the link, sometimes you have to click on it, and it gives you the link here. When I click on this link, it's going to open it up in a new tab up here. That way I can watch the video, okay? So watch the video about tornadoes, listen, learn, because you'll be using that information. Then use your 3-2-1 strategy. You don't have to use the same colors, but you do need to use 3 different colors. As you read through here, I want you to highlight 3 interesting or unusual facts about tornadoes using whatever color you choose for your 3. Then I want you to highlight 2 unknown or unusual words in whatever color you chose for your 2. Then highlight 1 I wonder about in the article using whatever color you chose for 1. So when I'm grading, I should see 3, whatever color you chose for 3, 2, and 1. Now, can you highlight more than a 3, a 2, a 1? You sure can, but you still have to keep the colors the same. So if it's an unusual or interesting word, it has to be the same color as your 2s. So you may have 4 of them, even though it says 2. That's okay. I love that you're going above and beyond. Okay, so see the Tornado Expert page to answer questions about a tornado. So we are going to go back over here to our assignments, find the Tornado Expert page, and here's where you're going to answer questions about the tornado from the video and the article. It says, remember to state part of the question in your answer. And even more importantly, what those 4th graders or teachers are looking for, did you put a capital letter at the beginning? Did you put punctuation at the end? Okay, so you're going to go down here and it says, think about the word alley. Given what you know about alleys like downtown Boise, there's alleys between buildings. What do you think the general shape of a tornado alley might be? You might not know what tornado alley is right now, but 1, you can use your context clues of the word alley. 2, you'll learn about it in the video and the article that you read and watch before you fill this out. Okay, so it says, given what you know about alleys, what do you think the general shape of a tornado is? So the main idea is the shape of Tornado Alley. So you're going to start your answer by saying, you could say, I think, or I read, or you can say, I think the shape of Tornado Alley is, and then you're going to do blank and then evidence, because tell me the evidence why you think that. Okay, so I'm going to delete that. Oops, don't want to delete the whole thing. And then you're going to go down and there are 3 more questions. You're going to make sure that you use part of the question in your answer. How are the weather conditions in the Great Plains and those that cause hurricanes alike? So in the article, it's going to talk about the weather conditions in the Great Plains. So that's the main idea. So you might start your sentence. The weather conditions in the Great Plains are blank, and that is what forms tornadoes. And that is what makes it a home for tornadoes. That is what makes tornadoes likely. So keep going down and do that. That's all you have for today, and those parts are very important because on Thursday when we do science, you are going to be reading an infographic chart about tornadoes and finding some information about the speed and the damage of tornadoes, and then you're actually going to make a tornado of your own that you'll use at home. And you'll have to do some observing with it and fill out an observation form about your tornado. So these 2 tornado lessons are actually very, very important so that Thursday you have that information, that background knowledge to make your own tornado. Okay, I'm going to close these out, go back to my Google Classroom and just double check. Answered the questions. I listened to the video. I read the article. I did my 3-2-1 strategy with highlighting. Then I answered the questions, restating the question in the answer, and I am done, other than type tastic. I want to make sure I'm doing that at least 3 days a week so those fourth grade teachers know that I am a great keyboarder and I'm ready for the keyboard and typing anytime. Okay, Google Hangouts at 10 o'clock, that will show up on there for you, the link, so you'll be able to click in it. And then don't forget, make sure to do that science because Friday we're going to make some cool tornadoes. Okay, I think that's all I have for today. Thanks for listening. I hope that helps. Remember, you can always pause this video and go back and listen to the directions, and then go do the assignment. Then watch the next part, pause it, go do the assignment, then watch the next part, pause it, and go do the assignment. You don't have to watch the video all at once. Do it in parts so you don't forget on each assignment what you're doing. All right, love you. Have a good day. I'll see you at Google Hangouts.